Hi, Reet. Thank you so much for joining this show, which is Extreme Gratitude, and welcome.
I'm very grateful to be a part of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reet. And before we start, I just want to tell everyone that Reet is very young. She's in her 20s and she's energy healer. So, guys, this is really good learning session for everyone and very enlightening. So I'm really excited to know more about the energy that we all know, how it works, why it works, and why we need to believe in that, right? So let's hear it from our youngest guest, Reet Kaur. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm really proud of you, Reet, because you have achieved so many things early in life. Understanding this concept is really extraordinary. So
It
really good.
actually happened by, it has to happen maybe because I didn't choose to.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened because my neighbors were doing, my mom did, then
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Right. Okay. So Reet, first of all, since you already know so many things about this energy and all, but how can you explain it in a very simple term? What is this universal energy?
So, personally for me, I consider universal energy as water. So if you've done scuba diving where we are inside the water, हमें आसपास हर जगह पानी दिखता है, ऊपर भी नीचे भी साइड में everywhere we are surrounded by water. बट क्योंकि हम देख पा रहे हैं और फील कर पा रहे हैं तो वो हमें बहुत ज्यादा टैंजिबल एक्सपीरियंस लगता है कि हाँ हमें पानी दिख रहा है सो या इट्स रियल.
Hmm.
तो सिमिलर वैसे हम जैसे इस रूम में हैं,
Hmm.
सारे ऑब्जेक्ट्स और सारे वेकेंट स्पेसेस जितने भी एम्प्टी स्पेसेस है इट्स फिल्ड विथ यूनिवर्सल एनर्जी. So that energy has created us and all the other conscious beings that we are living with right now. So it's not कि universal energy हमें दिख नहीं रही है या फिर एकदम ऐसे consciously feel नहीं हो रही है हर बार, तो वो है ही नहीं. बहुत सारे लोगों का कहना होता है कि जैसे भगवान दिखते नहीं है वैसे भगवान नहीं है, या फिर एनर्जी नहीं दिखती तो एनर्जी भी नहीं है. जबकि इट्स द मैटर ऑफ it's just existence. Even if you believe it or not, it is there. So according to me, universal energy is something which is very accessible. आपको आपको बस समझना होगा कि इस एनर्जी का हम यूटिलाइजेशन कैसे कर सकते हैं. और मैं यूनिवर्सल एनर्जी को यूज करके खुद की हीलिंग और दूसरों की हीलिंग्स करती हूँ. तो एक मतलब ऐसा होता है कि हमें किसी ने बहुत सारी चीजें जैसे स्वीट्स बता दी हैं और फिर हमें समझ आ रहा है कि ठीक है हम ये स्वीट का बेटर यूज कैसे कर सकते हैं. सो इट्स अवेलेबल फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस. यू डोंट हैव टू be eligible to know about it. You don't have to have a degree to access it. It's just there for you to use it.
And yeah, that is right. And but how to experience this energy in our day-to-day life?
So since I on the previous call I told you that I've done my 1 year program, 1 year spiritual program in an ashram, where we were taught a lot of small and long techniques of how to access this universal energy. But the moment I came outside of the 1 year program, I felt that there's a lot of hustling nature, especially in my age. Especially in my age, I have to, we have to work hard to pay off bills. We are in a survival mode most of the time. We have to know how to have financial stability, relationship stability, and everything. So we kind of forget that we can practice silence, we can practice awareness, we can practice forgiveness. And the biggest and the simplest tool to access universal energy is your breath. So your breath will show you what condition you are in right now emotionally, and automatically you will get to know that, okay, if I'm breathing very heavily, I'm not in a good emotional condition. Or if I'm breathing very quickly, I'm not in a good emotional condition. That is your the way it's
A
you
barometer
to check.
to check, yeah.
Yes, that's your parameter that you will get to know.
Mm.
Then you have to sit in silence. You have to put efforts to remove all the distractions. It can be telling your family members that I want some minutes for myself, so that they don't call you.
Mm.
Then second efforts is that you can put all your devices in
Mm.
switch off mode.
Mhm.
You can create a cozy space just
Mhm.
for you to be with yourself. You have to
Mm.
put efforts to do that. Then you have to sit in silence for a minute. Like 30
Mm.
seconds of silence also can change you on a very immense level. Then you can stretch that span of time for a minute, 5 minutes, then 20, 30 minutes. But if you start with 30 seconds, it will not overwhelm you. That
Mhm.
experience will be with you. You will not be against with it. कि यार इतना टाइम नहीं है. 30 seconds
Mhm.
बहुत ही achievable लगता है.
Mhm.
फिर सिटिंग इन साइलेंस आप खुद ही ट्यून अप होने लग जाओगे. आपको रियलाइज
Right.
नहीं होगा वेयर योर कॉन्शियसनेस इज एक्चुअली ट्रैवलिंग विथ यू.
Mm. Mhm.
बिकॉज हमें ऐसा लगता है कि यार हम थॉट्स में लॉस्ट हो रहे हैं, बट द की
Mhm.
इज नॉट टू जज और नॉट टू एनालाइज और नॉट टू ब्रिंग कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज ऑफ योर थॉट्स, बट जस्ट टू लेट इट गो. जैसे
Mm.
क्लाउड्स होते हैं, वी ऑब्जर्व क्लाउड्स, वी हैव टू पास दीज क्लाउड्स, वी हैव टू लेट गो. हमें उसमें ऐसे छेड़ाखानी नहीं करनी कि यार ये क्लाउड ऐसा क्यों है, हम इस
Mhm.
क्लाउड को इधर से इधर शिफ्ट कर देते हैं. वो सब हमारा जो मटीरियलिस्टिक वर्ल्ड में काम चलता है ना, वो
Mhm.
हमारे थॉट्स के साथ करने लग जाते हैं, विच इज नॉट अप्रोप्रिएट इन दैट मोमेंट.
Right.
हमारा इंटेंशन ये होना चाहिए कि ओके वट एवर थॉट इज कमिंग, वी हैव टू जस्ट लेट इट गो. एंड द मोमेंट यू आर इन दैट प्रोसेस ऑफ letting go all the thoughts, you
Mhm.
will then tune out. And that's how you will automatically receive universal energy. You will not have to ask for it. You don't have to do stuff to receive energy. You just have to undo stuff to receive energy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I believe, like, see, I have also practiced this kind of different techniques, whether it is, breath watching or some other practices. Why one should believe in this energy or the alternative therapies that you know about, some crystal healing or other techniques that you know. Why one should believe in that?
Yeah. So, firstly, we all know that एक डिजीज से चालू होता है, फिर उसकी मेडिसिन और भी ज्यादा डिजीजेस क्रिएट करती हैं उसके साइड इफेक्ट्स के साथ साथ. बिकॉज आवर किडनीज एंड आवर पैनक्रियाज एंड आवर लिवर इज नॉट मेंट टू absorb these chemicals. It tends to react, it tends to go against the body. So more than healing that disease, it creates a lot of side effects, and it creates a lot of tension in the, like a lot of physical problems apart from which was
Right.
existing before.
Right.
So it is very important to know that medicines or this modern therapies are only meant for emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
We should not skip those in the matter of emergency, but for a longer period, we should always focus on what is natural and
Mm-hmm.
what is alternative. What can be better if we choose to make our lifestyle a little different, or if we choose to make some shifts in our diet, or maybe we can start to do something else which is pretty natural, which can be a habit of ours and which can heal this
Mm.
one, any physical problem धीरे
Mm-hmm.
धीरे.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that these are the main advantages of choosing alternative therapies over the traditional medicine that we have,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Mm. While you're explaining, Reet, I was thinking, I'm really wondering, how come at very early stage of life you understood all these things. Um, if you could give us some idea, some background, how did you uh, shifted to this thought process? Because at this stage, youngsters are looking for, they hang out, they go for parties and all those things. They have totally different hobbies and they run around for totally
Yeah.
different things. How did this happen to you only, or how do you look at your life, or is there anything in your family that is that is why because you are this, or just wanted to understand your thought process.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So firstly, I also hang out with friends. I also go out. I also do party and all. But then it was not my priority, and I felt I was very bored with this system of aging. Like after school, you have to go to college and you have to pretend in some manner because you're a college kid and you have to do some things. Like there's a system that is pretty understood, that this is a process of living and this is how you age.
Hmm.
But when I was 16, my mom casually told me that, you know what, you are entering your college life. You
Hmm.
should know something extra which can help you protect there, because we'll be a little far. If something happens to you, we can't, immediately help you.
Hmm.
So, in that sense, she told that since I was 16, I was eligible to do this healing course. I learned all the levels. I learned like
Hmm.
from the basic to the very advanced. I learned everything in a very
Hmm.
short span of time.
Hmm.
But I didn't really practice it at that point of time because I was into my like graduations and
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm.
So, but then when I met a lot of people of my age, they
Hmm.
were experiencing a lot of mental health issues. So,
Hmm.
primarily when I did this course, my reason of doing this course was not that I was dealing with something. I just wanted
Hmm.
to learn something new. But the
Hmm.
people I was meeting were dealing with a hell lot of mental health issues, and they were quickly popping pills. Like I met a few of my friends who were popping like 10 pills of anxiety in a day. Then some were drug addicts, or some were they were not doing what is natural to them, and they were not trying to figure out how can they deal with problem. Mostly a lot of them were escaping from them.
Hmm.
They were, it was a lot of toxic behaviors. And then I was like, okay, I have to tell them what I know. I don't want to educate them, or I don't want to be like a superior one. I just want to tell them that this is what is helping me, and you can also acquire this, or you can also get benefit from this. So I
Right.
started teaching them a little basic stuff. I started to tell them the importance of breath. So, you know what? There was one person in my college, and he told me that I am the most conscious when I go and buy a cigarette, and I breathe deeply when I do it.
Hmm.
So I was really surprised that he is doing the same thing which I do in my room consciously when I sit with myself and I breathe. But I don't have a cigarette and it does not affect me. So I told the same thing, that I don't want to be a teacher for you. I don't want to be like a very spiritual, superior person in front of you. I just want to guide you in a manner which will help you, because you're already conscious of your actions, but your actions are not right. So
Hmm.
you have to just remove the cigarette part, and you have to just be with yourself in silence and be conscious of your breath. Then the
Hmm.
same person asked me that there's a lot of negative thoughts when I sit with myself, and I'm actually very scared of silence. I can't sit. It really hits me like a very genuine concern he was sharing. So I was like, yeah, this is very real. Some people have little negative thoughts which can really harm our mental health and everything. So I told that first we have to regulate our breath, and then we have to be aware of our breath. But a lot of like spiritual teachers just teach us to be aware of our breath. That is
Hmm.
actually the second part. The first
Okay.
part is that we be regulating the breath. मतलब आप ऐसे समझो कि हम लोग 3 घोड़े के ऊपर हैं, और अगर वो
Hmm.
हम लोग घोड़े को कंट्रोल नहीं करेंगे तो वो घोड़े हमको कंट्रोल करके इधर उधर लेके जाएंगे.
Hmm.
That is how our mind works when we are not regulating our breath, or when we are not stable emotionally, mentally and physically. ये 3 घोड़े इमोशनल, मेंटल, फिजिकल हैं, और जो आप उसके ऊपर चढ़े हो, that is you, the soul. So the soul has to control with its power all these 3 horses, and then only can they be aware of it.
Hmm.
आपने कंट्रोल किया, फिर अब उनको ऐसे ऊपर से देख सकते हो कि हाँ, अब हम सही रास्ते जा भी रहे हैं कि नहीं. बट हम लोग क्या करते हैं, हम उनको पहले हम अवेयर रहते हैं, बट हम लोग गलत ही दिशा में जाते हैं. So I suggested that same friend of mine to regulate the breath in the sense by
Hmm.
breathing in rhythm of 6-3-6-3. So
Hmm.
your belly is regulated. You are, जो हम लोग सांस बहुत कम लेते हैं, फिर एक्सेल बहुत लंबा करते हैं, that is very irregular. So we
Hmm.
have to make it in rhythm. 6-3-6-3 का rhythm में regulation करो, फिर आपका माइंड थोड़ा रिलैक्स होगा, आपकी एनर्जी सेटल डाउन होगी, इमोशनली आपको बहुत स्टेबलाइज फील होगा. Then be aware of your breath, and then be aware of your emotions and thoughts. That will help.
Hmm. Right. I have heard this from many people, that breath watching and, managing your breath is the ultimate thing, right? So,
Yes.
mm, okay. And you mentioned about your a case of your friend, right, who is doing this. But how do you see the approach is different when a person who wants to, achieve some goal, he focus on, like not a traditional way, I would say, but on a materialistic way of approaching the things, right? Uh, and your approach is more of a spiritual and focusing on the self. So how do you see the efforts get difference, from this approach and this approach?
So I believe when our energy is aligned, we
Hmm.
work faster and in a very productive manner. It
Hmm.
is believed that very spiritually inclined people only meditate whole day, but that's not the
Hmm.
real part.
Hmm.
Because we also know that being a spiritual person, it will not fill our belly. It will not bring us home a lot of money. For
Hmm.
money and to have food, we have to work.
Hmm.
So when we merge material and spiritual, then it actually works very fast. Because
Hmm.
if you meditate and then work, you will equalize more amount of work than you usually do. अगर आप एक
Hmm.
दिन में जैसे 10 घंटे का काम कर रहे हो,
Hmm.
बट अब ऐसे देखा जाए तो 10 घंटे कंप्लीटली हमारा फुल फोकस और अटेंशन से नहीं जाता है काम.
Hmm.
हम लोग
Hmm.
शायद सिर्फ 3 या 4 घंटे ही उसमें सबसे ज्यादा फोकस्ड और प्रोडक्टिव रहते हैं.
Hmm.
बट अगर हम मेडिटेशन करेंगे ना तो हमें समझ आ जाएगा कि ओके व्हाट अमाउंट ऑफ वर्क वी हैव टू पुट इन एंड हाउ मच एफर्ट हाउ मच टाइम. यू विल बी वेरी कैलकुलेटिव.
Hmm.
तो आप मेडिटेशन करने के बाद जो काम करोगे ना, आप बहुत प्रोडक्टिव और आप बहुत अवेयर हो.
Hmm.
दैट्स द मेन डिफरेंस दैट आई फाउंड.
Right. And now I'm shifting my questions towards some therapies, right? We have understood what energy is, how it works, and why it works. But therapies like Reiki, crystal healing, or the one that you have studied, uh, I have seen a lot of people have lot of preconceived notion or some myths around this energy. कि no, we should not practice this. इससे क्या होगा, like because you can't see it, so it doesn't work. People say that. Uh, what do you want to say to defend that?
So there are actually myths, and it's genuine from their part as well, because we can't become offensive about their questions,
Hmm.
because they are coming from a very curiosity wala part. They are coming that they want to know more, but they are also skeptical about it. They are coming from that place. So we answer a lot of myths in a very patient manner, because mostly जितने भी लोग हमसे encounter हुए हैं उन सबकी energy हमारे ऊपर डाल रहे हैं या फिर हम उनका कर्मा हमारे ऊपर ले रहे हैं.
Yes, Reet. So my question is regarding, if the person is thinking that everything is matter and the other person is thinking everything is energy. So how does the effort or the approach uh, gets a difference between these two? I mean.
So
Hmm.
the moment I encounter a person like this,
Hmm.
I immediately make them feel their own energy. I make them feel that this is the energy that you live in, you walk
Hmm.
with, and like you have this energy. So if they immediately have this question that okay, like the minute before I did that experience, we make them feel the energy that they have, like the energy, literal tangible energy that they have. So after that, the question simply vanishes that okay, there is no energy, but they tend to believe that okay, there is energy. That question of them, that
Hmm.
doubt just
Hmm.
completely vanishes,
Hmm.
because they themselves have experienced it.
Hmm.
Then the second thing is we tell them a lot about themselves only, that okay, we have 11 chakras which is situated from the crown to the sixth
Hmm.
chakra,
Hmm.
and we tend to receive a lot of different type of energies connect from different dimensions. So the
Hmm.
crown chakra is connected to a different dimension, then the heart chakra is connected to different dimension. And the
Hmm.
moment you open up your heart chakra, or the moment you cleanse all these chakras, you will be a different person.
Hmm.
Because the moment you cleanse all your chakras and you energize all your chakras, you tend to think in a different manner. You tend to have different set of mindset. You tend to have different set of beliefs. So all these things which define us as a personality or us as a human completely changes. So your self, your meaning completely changes. That means you are in a complete transformative mode if you're healing yourself on a daily basis. So we teach them
Mm-hmm.
this concept, and then they tend to, clear more doubts about energies, and then we tend to normalize that thing, because it's pretty natural to have questions, because they don't know about it. So
Mm-hmm.
we go in a process very slow with them.
Right, right. And what are some daily practices that one should do to, to be in align with this energy? Uh, some daily, some rituals or some practices or some habits that you, if you could suggest that, can cultivate this energy more and more.
So most importantly, the moment I wake up, I remember and I make myself realize that I am not this body, I am the soul.
Mm-hmm.
And my soul is carrying this body.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the responsibility to do right actions, to think right, to speak right.
Mm-hmm.
Because the body is not controlling the soul. The soul is controlling the body. So the whole
Right,
power, the decision making, everything is in my hands. So then I'm not like, okay, मेरा मन ये कर रहा है तो चलो मैं ये कर दूँ. दो मिनट बाद मेरा मन ये कर रहा है तो मैं ये कर दूँ. That is body leading the mind and the body leading your life, because you are feeling and then you're doing. बट यू हैव टू रियलाइज दैट इफ अगर हम लोग ये फीलिंग्स के तरीके से ही सारी चॉइसेस बनाते जाए तो we'll go
right,
downhill.
right.
So I make a very firm intention. I basically close my eyes and I realize that, okay, I'm grateful for this day and my soul have to develop. And which is why I have entered into this day. And through this body, with the use of this body, my soul will develop.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
is the firm intention that I take, and then accordingly I choose right actions. I
Mm-hmm.
accordingly choose right words to speak, which will not dirty my energy, which will not dirty other people's energy. Then in the middle of the day, when I feel anxious or when I feel that, okay, someone's energy is overpowering me, I bring back myself into that safe zone of realization again, and then I breathe, I bring back into balance. And then I work on with the day, because I believe that if I'm feeling one emotion, and if I don't sit with that emotion, if I don't let go that emotion, I will continue to be in that emotion. Let's say sadness. If a person is making me sad, if I don't sit down and if I don't let go that sadness, I will continue that sadness wala emotion for like months to go or years to go. And I will not even realize that that sadness was being held in one of the parts of the body,
Mm-hmm.
until it comes out as pain, or until it comes out as lethargy, or until it comes out as heaviness in shoulders or chest, etc.
Okay. So basically, you are trying to say that, whenever you feel any negative emotions, whether it is a pain or if at emotional level, one should take out time and resolve that, right, rather than carrying
Yes,
to the
yes.
next day. Otherwise, it will pile up, and one day it will, people say, that it can manifest as a disease eventually. So if you don't resolve it, right?
Yes.
But like another contradicting part is like a lot of people are doing job, they have their business and so many things, right? How is it possible to solve this on a daily basis, right, when you have a lot of other things to do? It is really
It's
difficult
not
in.
a long process.
Mhm.
No, it's not a long process. It will really take you only 5 minutes of strong realization.
Mhm.
But that strong realization has to be actually very strong and intentional. It should not be, I'm the soul and I'm working through this body, or like it should not be just words. It should be densely realized inside you. Then
Mhm.
you will work with it, and then you will be a different person if you actually practice it.
Right. Okay. Preet, so in my opinion, in my experience, the feeling of gratitude uh, has worked a lot. I really believe in that. How is your experience around this feeling?
I believe that there are two views of life. One
Mhm.
is optimistic and one is pessimistic.
Mm-hmm.
So I have experienced both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I can vouch you that, okay, gratitude, the optimistic viewpoint is really very helpful. If you really want to move on in life and if you want to attract new experiences, because I have, so if you're carrying a lot of loads of bag and if you don't drop it, you
Mm-hmm.
will not, move on freely. So
Right.
the moment I forgave a lot of people in my life, I let go a lot of situations, I automatically became very grateful for what I currently have. So
Mm-hmm.
I correlated being grateful with forgiveness,
Mm-hmm.
because if I was not forgiving, if I was holding on to a lot of hurt, I was automatically not grateful for what I have right now.
Hmm.
So there were situations, there were like pretty normal human situations that I was also dealing with, and we go through a lot in a daily basis as well. But then it depends on us that how quickly we want to drop it and how quickly we want to, acquire that sense of gratitude. That okay, what happened happened, and it was best for us, for our soul to grow. Maybe that situation was important for us to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if we uh, drop that experience as it is right now, because it will all make sense later,
Mm-hmm.
then the life is very easy to live.
Right. 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 And have you tried practicing like writing affirmations?
Yes, yes, definitely. It has really helped me.
Okay.
Affirmations have really helped me, because if you see, our thoughts are ongoing affirmations. Like if you
Hmm.
are thinking that okay, maybe I'm not good enough to present, or maybe I'm not, very confident in speaking, we constantly think of these thoughts and then we constantly behave as if it's true.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
if we think that, okay, I'm not confident, then I will not even open my laptop and I will not even switch on the camera, because that thought is leading me to do all these things. But the moment
Hmm.
I switch that thought that, what, I am confident and I know that I can do it, I
Mm-hmm.
own it all and I'm happy, you will automatically, in a second, you will do all the positive things that is coming from that thought.
Mm-hmm.
So there are times where we are stuck in a very negative loop, and where we are forced to
Hmm.
believe that we are not worthy, we are not good enough, we are not all the negative things. It is such a dense belief that we have to write down to break it. We
Hmm.
have to write the positive side of it in order to let go that heavy energy of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes positive affirmations when we speak has not worked for me well, but the moment I write it down, until I don't believe it enough,
Mm-hmm.
I just write it down. I don't have numbers like 21 times, or I don't name the pages that okay, for 3 4 pages I'll write and then I'll switch it off. I write it until I don't densely believe it in myself,
Hmm.
and then I
Hmm.
stop the practice.
Right. So, in my experience, what happened? I'll tell you the real life scenario. I started writing positive affirmations, some set of affirmations, 6 months back. Now it's been 6 months. I've been writing daily. Only couple of days I have just missed. But what has happened gradually, like now it is part of daily practice. So मेरे लिए वो बहुत ही कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि बोरिंग हो जाता है. I don't
हाँ,
feel that affirmation which I used to feel when on the initial part. तो अभी
yes,
वो
yes.
बोरिंग हो गया है एंड वो मेरे लिए बहुत ही मैकेनिकल हो गया है and
हाँ,
that is not the right thing, right? So
हाँ.
uh, I also reached out to my mentor, and she told me that okay, now you should start feeling those affirmations, right? I was not feeling
Mhm.
prior to that, but now whenever I get chance, I try to feel those affirmations. But feeling is also difficult sometimes because the real situation is different, and the affirmations that carries that
Yes, yes.
emotion, that feeling is different.
Mhm.
So what do you suggest how to feel those emotions? Because I literally like I follow Dr. Joe Dispenza. I mean, if you know him. and
Hmm.
he says that thoughts are electric signals, and feelings are magnetic. So you have the thoughts now because you're writing on a daily basis, so you have those thoughts, but the feeling level is still lacking. So what do you suggest, how to feel those every now and then?
So, see, if I give you an example,
Hmm.
that if a person is like, if I give that example on me, that
Hmm.
if I'm feeling very low
Hmm.
about like if I'm feeling low self-esteem,
Hmm.
able to hold up at the highest level, I'm not able to speak up properly, I'm not able to process my mental thoughts properly. So what I do, I I believe that okay, how would a confident woman act? How
Hmm.
would a confident woman walk? How would a confident woman speak? And then I try to embody that as if I was that woman.
But
So
Reet, that
imagine
is
that the
very
person is
difficult.
very
I agree to that. I understand that what you're saying, and I have tried that. But sometimes that becomes so
mm,
difficult because you are into such situation which is totally opposite from what you want, right?
yes, yes,
Uh, so what you're saying is right, but it is very difficult.
yes. I know it's very difficult and it's
Yeah.
very challenging because
Mm.
your body is very comfortable to feel that feeling what we are feeling.
Hmm.
So it becomes very challenging to break that pattern, break that negative thought about oneself, and step
Hmm.
into that shoes, because it does not put a lot, मतलब आपको इतना ज्यादा एफर्ट डालने का जरूरत नहीं होगा अगर आप
Hmm.
सोचोगे कि एक
Hmm.
कॉन्फिडेंट पर्सन कैसे वॉक करता है. वो
Hmm.
ऐसे डल तरीके से तो वॉक नहीं करेगा. वो बहुत
Right.
ब्रॉड शोल्डर्स करके चिन अप नेक्स्ट टू द लेवल और अच्छे से वॉक करेगा. तो आप
Right.
जैसे ही वैसे वॉक करोगे ना, यू विल ऑटोमेटिकली फील कॉन्फिडेंट. देन
Hmm.
द कॉन्फिडेंट मैन will not feel very sorry or very guilty about
Hmm.
each and everything. He'll not
Right.
try to please everyone. He'll not
Hmm.
try to speak in a very mellow voice. He'll be very confident about his own beliefs, even if he is wrong. So you
Hmm.
will try to embody that action. So
Right.
for this, you have to be very observant of all the people around you, and you
Hmm.
have to choose one person who has what you want, and then
Hmm.
you can try to pick those qualities, that how that person speaks or how that person reads a book or how that person greets people, and
Hmm.
then you try to copy that and then you become that.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And if you don't have that person around you, you can
Hmm.
start to find that one person in YouTube or by reading that author's book. That
Hmm.
person can be like your imagination, or you can find that one physical person in your life.
Hmm.
That really helps,
Right. Right. And one last
because you know
question.
that okay, this is a possibility.
Hmm. Yes. 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 Right. 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 And Ritu, one last question about being aware of your thoughts, right? So I have also practiced, becoming aware of my thoughts. कि okay, अभी ये कौन सा thought आ रहा है? It is now going. Now I'm thinking this. Right now I'm thinking this. So I've tried to practice that, but it takes a lot of energy, and at the end of the day you feel exhausted कि यार it is so much of focus is needed, if you have to observe each and every thought. और वो आई डू दैट. मुझे मैं 3-4 दिन कर सकता हूँ, बट उसके बाद देन आई कांट डू दैट बिकॉज बहुत ही ज़्यादा एनर्जी उसमें लगती है. हाउ टू डू दैट विथ लेस ऑफ योर एनर्जी कंजम्पशन, कम हो उसमें, एंड यू डोंट
Mhm.
फील एट द एंड ऑफ द डे कि भाई थक गए. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. हाउ टू
Mhm.
बी अवेयर ऑफ योर थॉट्स by saving your energy basically?
See, there are two ways of meditating. One is awareness, and one is when you do something to change your energy. So I believe in blessing, where I bless myself, where I bless all the people around me, where I bless the Mother Earth. In the process of blessing, I automatically become blessed because I'm receiving the universal energy first and then I'm transferring to other people. So, what my process of meditation is, where I gain a lot of energy, is I put my hands in blessing position facing outwards, and then I focus here on the top of the head, as if I'm receiving abundance amount of energy inside my body. I receive from the crown chakra, and it automatically goes out from the hands. So I take the intention that all the people around me who are dealing with a lot of stuff, I imagine myself in front of me, and I bless with a lot of divine universal energies. So in the matter of this blessing, your channel, your energy first gets cleared up. So imagine that there's a very blocked pipeline, और उस पाइपलाइन के अंदर हम बहुत प्रेशर से पानी डालते हैं, तो जितना भी कचरा होता है वो फ्लश होके बाहर निकल जाता है। तो वैसे ही जब आप हाथों को ब्लेसिंग पोजीशन में रखोगे ना, यू आर क्रिएटिंग एन आउटलेट। तो इनलेट होगा ही, आउटलेट हमारे हाथ हैं, तो इनलेट यहाँ से इतना फ्लश एनर्जी आएगा दैट जितने भी नेगेटिव इमोशंस और नेगेटिव एनर्जीज हैं जो आप एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हो, वो सब बिना एक्सपीरियंस करे ही फ्लश आउट हो जाएगी और पॉजिटिव एनर्जी आपके हाथों से निकलती जाएगी। So you're not only meditating, you are generating a lot of good karma as well by blessing other people.
Right. But my question was, Reet, about being aware of your thoughts. So it as I said, it takes a lot of energy. ऐसा क्या कर सकते हैं कि you can be aware of your thoughts at the same time you're working on your laptop, and you feel that you are in control. Basically when you are aware of your thoughts, you feel safe कि okay क्या हो रहा है, कुछ अनचेक गया नहीं है। ऐसे वो कैसे प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं?
वो आपको पहले रेगुलेट करना है, आपको आपके थॉट्स को पहले। आप अगर आप जो बोल रहे हो ना कि मैं अवेयरनेस करके फिर मैं कुछ और काम भी साइमल्टेनियसली कर रहा हूँ, दैट इज अ लिटिल लेटर पार्ट। उसके पहले बहुत सारा प्रैक्टिस इसमें चाहिए रहता है कि हम बिना कुछ काम करे भी इतने स्टेबल हैं क्या। स्टेबलाइज करने के लिए हम हमारी पहले ब्रेथ को रेगुलेट करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, बिकॉज आवर ब्रेथ इज डायरेक्टली कंट्रोल्ड बाय आवर इमोशंस। तो या तो आप अपने इमोशंस पे काम करके ब्रीदिंग को सुधार सकते हो, या तो अपने ब्रीदिंग को रेगुलेट करके अपने इमोशंस को सुधार सकते हो। इट इज वेरी कोरिलेटेड। तो जैसे आपने आप ब्रीदिंग प्रैक्टिस किया, फिर आप कुछ काम करोगे ना, तो आपको रियलाइज होगा कि ओके दीज ऑल आर थॉट्स एंड ऑल आर इमोशंस, मेरे को इनसे कोई मतलब नहीं है। I will do my work because this is the current scenario. So you will drop that focus, you will drop that awareness from that situation. If you are thinking कि सोने से पहले मुझे बहुत ज्यादा नेगेटिव थॉट्स आ रहे हैं या फिर वैसे, so you can take an intention that I am dropping my body, I'm dropping my thoughts and I'm dropping my emotions. So you don't relate with that, you don't identify with that. अगर हमें किसी बात का पेन हो रहा है या फिर सैडनेस हो रहा है, you will not feel that sadness in your body, because that will be the time आपने intention ले लिया that I'm dropping all the emotions. तो आपने जैसे ही intention लिया ना, तो you will not identify with that emotion. You will sleep because that will be your action for that moment.
Okay. And my last, not a question, but what I practicing for last few days is mirror work. Whenever I get time, I go in front of mirror and I literally say that okay, I love you, I really love you. And sometimes I do that कि जब हम जीतते हैं तो कैसे फीलिंग होती है कि yes, right? So I literally do that in front of mirror and I see that पूरी एनर्जी मेरी चेंज हो जाती है। What are your thoughts about that?
Yes, of course. I have not practiced this as much as you are saying, but मेरा ऐसे मैंने mentally बहुत बार practice किया है that even if we were starting this session, before that also I was closing my eyes and I was visualizing myself more than what I am currently. So that I can offer, I can serve in a very higher sense of energy. Even if my day was pretty low, or even if my thoughts were not that high, but if I'm setting an intention that in this session I have to serve in this manner, so I embody that kind of energy because I'm taking that intention.
Wow, very good session. I mean, it sometimes this kind of conversation also makes you feel little bit relaxed, right? So thank you Reet. Yeah, I'm done from my side. Read anything that you want to share or suggest to our audience about energy, about healing practices, or anything.
I want to suggest everyone to learn about their own selves
Mm-hmm.
by learning their own energies, by being in a spiritual path in from a young age, because it is a real taboo that you can't manage a spiritual life with material life, because at the end our main goal is to develop ourselves spiritually. So why not start from today? Why not start from a
Mm-hmm.
very early age?
Mm-hmm.
The main task is to learn to balance spiritual and material life. You have to learn to balance meditating and also earning money, or meditating and socializing. So there's a little task, it's a little challenge where you are very aware of what is right and wrong, but the society is not that way. So you have to make up your mental space and you have to act accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's at the same time very important for us youth to be a part in this, spiritual mission that we are in. So I motivate every one of you to learn energy healings, to be independent, to make right choices and to make right choices in their lifestyle, because I've seen, I have really taught a lot of people how to heal themselves, how to come out of a lot of mental health issues just by managing their chakras.
Mm-hmm.
It's not tough. It
Mm-hmm.
will take you like 15 minutes of daily energy healing practice and you're done.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Thank you, Reed. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you,
my
Advait,
show.
for having me.
And before we, drop off, I just want to request you one more thing. That okay, I want to have another sessions with you, multiple sessions on separate, specific topic on mindfulness, on being in the present moment, on meditation, on chakras and all. So I'm inviting you for that right now.
Mhm.
So yes, thank
Thank you for having me.
thank you, Rit, and yeah, see you soon. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Advait, for having me.
Yeah.